Namaste, everybody. I'm truly humbled to be here today um, to offer whatever little I can on behalf of everybody in the presence and memory of this great soul. What I have chosen today are some mantras by Adi Shankara, who was the greatest exponent we know of understanding the nature of reality and how eternal it is. And then I will end with a few lines from a Shabad. This is from the Brahma Jnanavali. They say the listening of this is enough to attain Moksha. Asangoham puna punaha Satchidananda Rupoham Ahamevahamavyaya Nitya Shuddha Vimuktoham Nirakaro Mavyaya Bhumananda Swarupoham Ahamevahamavyaya Nityoham Nirvatyoham Nirakaro Amachyutaha Paramananda Rupoham Ahamevahamavyaya Shuddha Chaitanya Rupoham Atma Ramo Mevacha Akhandananda Rupoham Ahamevahamavyaya Brahma Satyam Jaganmithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha Anena Vedyam Sajjastram Iti Vedanta Dindimaha Antarjyoti Bahirjyoti Jyoti Pratyaksha Jyoti Parakara Jyoti Jyoti Swayam Jyoti Atma Jyoti Shivosmyaham Jyoti Jyoti स्वयं ज्योति शिवस्यहम् ज्योति ज्योति स्वयं ज्योति आत्मज्योति शिवस्यहम् The second one is Nirvana Shatakam. Again, very, very well known. Sometimes say Shankara, you have to start with I am not this, I am not that, I am not this, and finally what is left is Shivam. So this is the Neti way. Manobodhyahankara Chetaninaam Nacha Shrotrajive Nacha Dhananive Nacha Vyomabhumi Natejo Navayu Chidananda Yogaha Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Yogaha Shivoham Shivoham Nacha prana sandhya navai panchavayu navasatadhato navapancha koshavu navapanipagam Nachoparastatayu Chidananda Yogaha Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Yogaha Shivoham Shivoham Na punyam na papam na saukyam na dukham na mantro na tirtham na veda na yajna aham bhojanam naiva bhojam bhota chidananda yogaha shivoham shivoham chidananda yogaha shivoham na mrityu na shankara na nijati vedava pita naiva me naiva mata na janma na bandhu na mitram guru naiva shisha chidananda yogaha shivoham shivoham Shivoham, Shivoham, Aham Nevikalpo Nirakaryarupo Vibhupachya Sarvatra Sarvendriyanam Nacha Sangatam Naiva Mukti Namiya Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. बन से सदन सवे कर समझो बन से सदन सवे कर समझो मन ही माहे उदासा रे ऐसो कर सन्यासा जग की जटा जोग को मचन नीम के नखन बढ़ाओ ज्ञान गुरु आत्मदेसो नाम भगवत लगाओ विमल ऐसो कर सन्यासा काम क्रोध अहंकार लोभ हटे मोह नामन सो लावे तब ही आत्म तत्व को दर्शे तब ही आत्म तत्व को दर्शे परम पुरख के पावे रे
Thank you, Lakshmi. Lakshmi is my spiritual sister and soul sister. Thank you for that. Thank you all, family and friends, for being here this afternoon. Though the message sent out said that this was a prayer meeting, it's more than that. It is a gathering of love to remember and celebrate someone whose life touched us all. We are at the temple of Bari, the form of Adi Shakti that destroys the ego and is quite apt for the completion of a cycle of a life that began when Adi Shakti sprouted the seed of life as an individual being. Coincidentally, as my sister Urmi pointed out earlier, today also happens to be the death anniversary of my grandfather, our grandfather, who passed away on this date 41 years ago. Around 10 years ago, I had started writing an article. I haven't completed it, and it was before all of this happened. I only wrote 3 lines, with more yet to come, but I would like to share these 3 lines with you. I got to a stage of life where, over the years, I come across many obituaries, written or spoken, and have the opportunity to reflect on them. These have been of family, friends, elder colleagues, acquaintances, even public figures and strangers. Almost all of them, apart from describing the life, the work, and perhaps the impact of the deceased, mention that he or she is survived by the immediate family and close relatives who may frequently be listed by name. There's something poignant about that phrasing. It's almost reiterating that they've been through the battles of life together, and of that band of warriors, one has gone up. I think today you will hear this emotion being expressed by the family and friends of my father, Dr. Devangshu Dutta. I think we only just begin to understand our parents when we first start understanding our own selves honestly, without any preconceived notions. For most of us, this happens rather late in life, but if we are lucky, we start to get a true glimpse of them as just human beings, with many diverse qualities, roses and thorns all together, but still put together perfectly, if we simply accept those together, rather than pushing to change each other. My understanding of our family is of being a breaker of set molds and of patterns and of traditions, and yet being able to tie the threads of diverse opinions together. You will see some of that diversity being expressed today. I would like to read out a quote which had been shared by a friend. It is from a book written by the Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh, from his book No Death, No Fear. Sometimes people ask you, when is your birthday? But you might ask yourself a more interesting question. Before that day, the cloud will change into rain, or snow, or ice. If you look deeply into the rain, you can see the cloud. The cloud is not lost. It is transformed into rain, and the rain is transformed into grass, and the grass into the cows, and then to milk, and then into the ice cream you eat. Today, if you eat an ice cream, give yourself time to look at that ice cream and say, hello cloud, I recognize you.
Hello everyone. Baba was my mirror. He instinctively understood what I was feeling or wanting to say, often before I could even form words. With him, I never needed explanations. He simply knew. He was always my shelter from all storms, whether they were enormous life upheavals or the small tremors of childhood bodies. From him, I learned the importance of wanting to learn every day, all life long. To listen, not just with my ears, but with my heart. I know I inherited more than his physical features. I inherited his love of reading, his love of music, his restless desire to travel. I inherited too the quiet tenderness with which he tended to his relationships. Whether it was his first friend from school in Shimla, or faraway college companions, or colleagues at work, or his family from Patna or Kolkata, or the everlasting bonds he nurtured with family on both his side and knees. He cared for them all with the same devotion he showed his gardeners. And I watched and I learned. As I grew older, I began to understand the subtle ways he encouraged me to be self reliant. I still regret not taking those karate classes he was so keen for me to join, or not finishing the swimming lessons at the MANC pool. But I know now that his hopes for me were always rooted in strength and independence. I remember the countless trips he made to pick me up or drop me off at school, sometimes alone, sometimes with my friends piled into the back seat. On the morning of my board exams, he knew exactly what to do to calm my anxious nerves. His presence alone steadied me. We argued about many things, especially politics, and would often leave Ma shaking her head in disbelief. But beneath every disagreement was a foundation of love so solid it could weather anything. He took pride in my achievements, though he never hung the large framed photo of my academic award because I had once protested that it felt like a show off. The oversized picture still sits under a mattress at home, a silent reminder of his quiet pride and his willingness to honor my feelings. Apart from his loving, caring nature, he was a man of many talents. Baba was a wonderful cook, forever experimenting with new dishes, some delicious, some, let's just say, adventurous. I would grumble every time he asked me to fetch this tool or that gadget, but that is exactly how I learned all the handy little tricks of fixing things around the house. Baba always encouraged me to read books that spoke to the soul, and kept getting these books to continue my spiritual learnings when I moved to the US too. Baba, I know you are many different things to many different people, and each person carries their own story of you. But for me, you will always be the center of my heart, the axis around which my world once gently turned. You are my mirror, my shelter, my teacher, my friend, my parent, and you always will be.
We'll play a short message sent by Arunima.
I'm so lucky to have had you as my granddaughter, who's the best role model that I could ask for. Growing up, even though I lived in the US, I got to spend a lot of time with Babu and Nani in India, going there almost every summer, sometimes winters. He is someone who has such an infectious energy and positive presence. I can still see his smile and hear the sound of his laugh in my head, and I never want to forget that sound or that image because he truly their best interests at heart. He cared for whoever was in his circle so much. Even when I had like a stomach ache because I would always eat too much spicy food, he would give me a coconut to drink or give me some fruit that I've never heard of or had before, and was very persistent on me finishing it or drinking it, even if I didn't like the taste. He would tell me it's good for me. And when I was at home, I would FaceTime him or Skype him and tell him, like, look, I'm eating an apple or I'm eating blueberries, just to make him proud. And so I'll keep doing that. I'll keep being good to my body and good to myself, because I know that that's what he would want. He's someone that I remember him being very passionate about. He loved music. I would always hear him playing these melodies and just great vocals, and loved to listen to Indian artists. And he loves his garden. He loves nature. And that's something that he passed down to Mama, and I think she's passed that down to me. So I'm grateful that those qualities are in us, and we got that from him. He always had little things that I found, interesting that he would do. Whenever he would put his headphones in his ear, usually if I see people and they put their headphones just like this, and he would wrap them around the back of his earlobe and put them in so they could stay in tight. And I always thought that was really cute. Also, when he was driving earlier, instead of holding the steering wheel at the edges, he would hold it in the middle of the drive, which is also something that I've never seen anyone do. And so if I ever see anyone do that again, I would think of him. But he was unique in that way. He would speak of his medical school days very fondly and loved sharing stories with me, and I was so grateful that he wanted to talk about it with me. And he would tell me that he tried a bunch of different things, activities, and would just do everything at once, which was, just the type of person he was. And he loved to stay in touch with his friends from the school days and friends from earlier on. And when I would go to India, I would help him send messages on his iPad. He would ask them how they're doing. He would sometimes ask them if they remember when this happened for med school, or just try to keep those memories alive and present. He truly was such a special person. I'm so grateful to have had him as the best grandfather I could have asked for. And I'm so glad that there's so many people that love him and shared with him. And he lived a really great, happy 89 years. And we love you so much, Shabad. We will miss you.
Here's a little message from my younger daughter, Anusha, for her Dadu. To my Dadu, thank you for always encouraging me to do my best in everything I do and always believing in me. I miss your infectious energy, your crazy food combinations, and your laugh and smile that lights up the room. I'm so grateful for every moment we spent together and the endless love and support you showed all of us. I will carry everything you've taught me and keep making you proud. Love you always, your dearest Anusha.
তরুণ ফলে নিয়ে এসো মোর মত বাসনা গুছায়ে মলিন মর্ম মুছায়ে তুমি নির্মল করো মঙ্গল করো মলিন মর্ম মুছায়ে আছো আমি সরি আছো আমি নমিলে নিজ চিরদিন
From the day I entered the Dutta family, Baba welcomed me not as a daughter-in-law, but as a girl. His warmth, his acceptance, and his big open heart made me feel at home instantly. That was Baba, large-hearted in every possible way. He was happiest when the house was full of family and friends. The sound of laughter, conversations, and clinking plates brought him the greatest joy. As a host, he believed in abundance, ordering double of what was required, just to make sure that no one ever left hungry. Ma, thanks to him, became an expert at solving jigsaw in the fridge, finding space for his mountain of supplies and treats. He and I shared a special bond. We were the noisemakers in the house, the silly ones who often got reprimanded for our antics. Baba had this magical ability to comment in a matter-of-fact way of accepting things which would otherwise raise eyebrows to look normal. Ishir and Avi, his grandchildren, were the apple of his eye, the joy that brightened every corner of his life. His gentle voice often carried the words, all the best, and each time he said them, he meant them with all his heart. He had a quiet, steadfast presence, one that made children feel safe, loved, and completely free to be themselves. You could leave the kids with him for hours and nothing ever changed. We would return to find Baba sitting on the same beloved chair, calm and content, while the children played happily around him, their spirits lifted simply by being near him. His love needed no grand gestures. His warmth was felt in the smallest moments, the kind that stay with you forever. Baba's love for food was legendary. Our monthly family dinners at CP were a ritual, an adventure in exploring new restaurants. The letter holders at home never had letters in them, only menus. That was Baba's style. Family, friends, food, books, flowers were his great love. A perfectionist in the gentlest way, Baba believed everything had a place, and if it didn't, he would find or make one. He had a solution for every problem. Keeping track of keys with him felt like playing treasure hunt. He even kept them in a particular sequence, something that amused me always. Baba loved my cooking and encouraged me to try new things. His suggestions were sometimes strange or questionable, but to my surprise, they always worked. His curiosity, his willingness to experiment, and his supportive nature made those moments precious. His love for books kept him informed about everything under the sun. Our discussions, sometimes comfortable, sometimes heated, were always fun because there was a deep comfort and trust in those arguments. They were part of our special connection. Baba was, at his core, a simple person who loved deeply and lived fully in the present moment. His generosity, his warmth, his humor, and his quiet sparkle will always stay with us. He leaves behind not just memories, but a legacy of love, laughter, and togetherness. To the coolest father-in-law, Baba, you will always beat my heart.
I'll just read out a couple of messages which have come in. One is from one of his very old dear friends from medical college, Dr. Kalyan Gupta from the UK. I would like to share reflections and personal memories of my dear friend Devangshu. I met Devangshu in summer 1955 on the first day of our medical college life. We became close friends soon. I found him smart, handsome, well-spoken, well-mannered, distinguished young man. The reality that he is no longer with us is extremely painful and has left an emptiness in my heart. In college life, I found out certain qualities of life in Devangshu. He was an extremely good cricketer, especially a very fast bowler. I was fortunate to play with him on the same team for 5 years of our college life. We became busy with our daily college life, attending lectures and ward rounds, but still found time to socialize in between in our famous canteen. After graduation, Devangshu left for New Delhi for higher studies and training, and I left for the UK. I lost touch but reunited with him when I got married. Ranjana and I stayed with Devangshu and Sudarshan before coming to the UK. He was extremely busy, but he had all the time to care for us before our departure for the UK. He was a wonderful man, kind, compassionate, and caring, and I was extremely lucky to have a friend like him. I remember another incident of his kindness. My father passed away in 1984. Devangshu went to receive me at the airport and dropped me off the following morning, despite a busy schedule. When I took my family to India for holidays, we stayed in Delhi at his house. He took us out for sightseeing despite being busy with private practice. He always went out of the way to accommodate his friends in his house whenever they visited. My last meeting with Devangshu was 2 years ago at his house. He had difficulty in movement, but otherwise reasonably well. Sudarshan cooked a very nice lunch, and we talked about our long friendship. He used to say we had good times, but unfortunately good times ended on 17th November. He will be sadly missed by all who loved him and who knew him well. I end my feelings with the poem of Rabindranath Tagore. Peace, my heart, let the time for parting be sweet. Let it not be death, but completeness. Let love melt into memory and pain in the songs. Let the flight through the sky end in the folding of wings over the nest. Let the last touch of your hands be gently like the flower of the night. Stand still, O beautiful end, for the moment, and say your last words in silence. I bow to you and hold my lamp to light you in your wake. There's a very short message from my cousin, Samir Kacker, who's at the moment in Australia, so he just wrote a short message. A legacy has come to an end after 89 years. He finally meets the Paramatma, very fondly remembering our favorite Dutta. He was a true gentleman in every sense, kind, graceful, and full of warmth. A man with a great personality, he touched every heart with his simplicity and goodness. Datta uncle was always full of life. No matter how busy he was, he made time for every family occasion. His presence brought joy, comfort, and togetherness. He lived his life king size, with dignity, charm, and a big heart. We will remember him for his smile, his strength, and the love he gave so freely. He leaves behind a lifetime of beautiful memories that we will cherish forever. It's a huge loss for me personally. May God bless his soul with Sankati and eternal bliss. Om Shanti. There's a short message from Dr. Sudha Kundu, who is also a classmate and had known my father for many, many years. She's written a message for my mother, particularly Dr. Sudarshan. May Devangshu rest in peace. I am unable to attend the prayer meeting. Instead, my daughter-in-law, Swati, went to the peacefully. I would just like to ask if anybody would like to say anything else. Please, I invite you to do so. Sakshi.
When we think of our childhood, all of us have certain safe spaces. Nanny's house, Dadi's cuddles, Dadu's piggyback rides. For me, that feeling of warmth and affection was Mamaji and Mamaji's house. In my opinion, the word that describes Mamaji the best is nurturer. He nurtured people all his life as a doctor, nurtured his plants like a parent, nurtured relationships with love and care, and most beautiful of all, nurtured our ideas with his wisdom and knowledge. It was always so easy to talk to him. His excitement was unmatched when he showed off his newly sprouted plants, forcing me to eat the mirchi. नहीं, घर पे उगाया है, खा के देखो, कड़वा नहीं लगेगा, खा के देखो. घर के ऑरेंजेस हैं, जरूर खाना. सार है, कोई बात नहीं, खाओ. Talking of food, it would be unfair if I don't mention his love for food. Food was his love language. Mamaji loved to eat and loved to feed us. From layering my sandwiches with extra jelly to putting an extra teaspoon of chocolate powder in my glass of milk, he showed his love by sharing lemon tarts and apple pies and finally considering me worthy enough to share his sacred recipes. Our conversations were never boring. He spoke so passionately about politics and our country. He taught me about the Kashmiri Pandits, generously shared anecdotes from his Kapurthala days, Maulana Azad days, and whatnot. Very recently, he also spoke to me about his spiritual awakening. But above all this, our most heated discussions were at the dining table about the consistency and color of the curry served to us at the table. He was truly Mr. Bhaskar, and I'm grateful that I got to be his piku on some of the days. Mamaji, wherever you are, may you find peace, surrounded by endless gardens, warm, wholesome meals, and big, loud laughs. Thank you for letting us observe greatness in such a humble and close manner. We'll try our best to imbibe your values. Goodbye, Mamaji.
I'll bring this to a close. We do have food. Cannot forget that. So please hang on. I'll chant the Gayatri mantra to the best of my ability. Please shall we? Yeah. Om Vasva Tatsavitur Vareya Bhargo Devasya Dhimani Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Vasva Tatsavitur Vareya Bhargo Devasya Dhimani Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Vasva Tatsavitur Vareya Bhargo Devasya Dhimani Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much.